Black father in crisis dies after cops decide to punch him and tase him. Here it is.
Wait, John. Come on, John. Come on, man. There you go. John, wait. Stand up. Stand up. 36. Come on, Phil. I got you. My neck! My neck! Oh, shit! My neck! Oh, John. Sorry. Turn over. Police! Turn over. That's not nice. Sorry. I'm trying. No! 1636! I'm sorry, police! No! John, 1636! Oh! He's got to hold him. I got him! I'm sorry, sir! Turn around, no! Let go, man! 1636! Police! I'm sorry! Do it! Sorry! Turn around! Turn around on your belly! On your belly! I'm trying! On your belly!
The courtesy, this video is courtesy of our dear brother Roland Martin. We're thankful for his continued advocacy and leadership. Put up the picture full mass. We have the background of an insane encounter. Black father in crisis dies after cops decide to punch him and tase him. John Daniel Scott Jr., a 41-year-old Black male and loving father of 5 children, was demonstrating a non-aggressive demeanor to Alabama police paramedics last week when they showed up to his home after his mother had called 911 to report his suffering of a mental health crisis. The mother of his children, Miss Heather Chandler Scott, posted a series of photos of Scott with his children. She also wrote the following post on behalf of one of their children. Quote, "My kids don't have social media, but Jax wants me to share this story, so I'm sharing for him." She wrote, quote, "One day his dad came home with a trunk full of sandwich bread, peanut butter, chips. He came in and called Jax, and they started making sandwiches. John said they were making sandwiches to take downtown Birmingham, to give the homeless some lunch. And that's exactly what he and Jax did. That's who John was at the core. So what do we have presently? You have a man who is suffering a mental health crisis. He has a family who loves him. He's a responsible, loving father. He's having one of those days. They call 911. Why? Because 911 is supposed to help. It's an ambulance call, not a police call. Police arrive, they kill him. There's more. Scott's mother, Paulette. This Paulette Sanders had called the police for help on April 15th because her son was experiencing a mental health episode and was likely off his medication. Police showed up with the department's mental health liaison, but determined Scott was not a threat to himself or anybody else. So they left. Later that evening, she called the police again because he was still experiencing his mental health crisis, resulting in 5 police officers arriving with paramedics. However, he had a warrant out for his arrest after failing to appear in court in 2021. This was for a speeding ticket, okay? This is a city ordinance. So Decatur police gave him the choice of either being transported to a hospital or being taken to jail to serve his warrant. Scott did not appear to like either option. Remember, he's going through a mental health crisis. When was the last time you heard of A person experiencing a mental health episode, there's a 911 call because there's a mental health crisis. They all of a sudden get to make all of the decisions about where they go. The reason the 911 call was made is because the mother believed her son was not in his full mental faculty. The decision to have him evaluated should have been made by the paramedics, or at least the commanding officer. But it was not. So Scott did not appear to like either option and tried to reason with them, but was not hostile. He did not raise his voice. 28-minute body camera. 28-minute body camera video released by Decatur police shows Scott engaging with police and paramedics in a civil conversation for more than 13 minutes before they just decided to arrest him. The cops grabbed his arms to handcuff him, and he fell to the ground and began panicking, complaining about his neck. The cops became more aggressive, ordering him to turn over. And he responded, quote, "I'm trying," while repeatedly apologizing, saying, quote, "I'm sorry." Then they began tasering him while ordering him to turn around and place his back, and kept telling them he was trying to do so. There's more. At least one cop had his knee on his back, making it difficult for him to abide by their orders. Then one cop started punching him as the cops struggled to place him in the car after handcuffing him. Scott repeatedly told the cops, quote, "I can't breathe." "You can't breathe?" One cop responded. "Stand up. Stop punching him." His mother can be heard yelling in the body camera footage, the footage released by the police. Scott was pronounced dead Tuesday morning at a local hospital where he had been confined for a week. Put up the interim Decatur police chief. You're looking at the interim chief, Natis Carlisle. Chief Carlisle said he was asked by the FBI and the Alabama law enforcement agency to investigate his death, according to News 19. Leading the investigation is the Madison County Sheriff's Office. Oh, yeah, that has a lot of credibility, obviously. Carlisle also issued the following statement to the media, quote, "Following the incident, Scott was transported to Morgan County Jail, where custody was officially transferred to the Morgan County Sheriff's Office. During the booking process, Scott continued to actively resist the efforts of correctional officers. He was then placed in a cell, later began showing signs of medical distress." He continues, "The jail staff called for an ambulance. Scott was transported to Decatur Morgan Hospital, where he experienced a medical emergency that required life-saving measures. We're actively monitoring his condition and remain in contact with his family." Put the chief back up. Chief, you are the interim police chief of Decatur, Alabama. Why is it that you are providing the statement for the county sheriff's office? Why am I reading your statement when the man was no longer in your custody? Why are you regurgitating what they've told you to say? There's no way you know you weren't there. You had custody, no more. But you are now their spokesperson. Explain it to us what happened to him. This makes no sense. Custody had been transferred. I should have a statement directly from the Morgan County Sheriff. There's more. Quote, "It is important to note this incident may involve what is medically referred to as excited delirium." The chief obviously has a medical degree. A potentially life-threatening condition that can occur in individuals undergoing extreme agitation, often influenced by mental health issues or substance abuse. A final determination will be made by medical professionals. Put the chief up again. But damn, chief, you're real busy. You're the sheriff, you're the police chief interim. You obviously have an MD degree because you've given this man a diagnosis for why he's dead. Even the hospital didn't do that. We got to GoFundMe. Let's put it up. The GoFundMe to raise money for funeral expenses. His mother said her son died of a heart attack and likely kidney failure. But it is important to note that excited delirium is a debunked medical condition that cops have been using for decades to justify killing people. Nationally renowned attorney Lee Merritt said that he has been retained by the family. Our dear brother will fight and advocate for that family, and will be filing a lawsuit according to News 19. Support for John Scott Jr.'s funeral arrangement. I ask that you do the very best you can. This man simply woke up one day, had an issue. His folk cared about him enough to call for help, and he ends up being killed. And then the narrative, the spin from the local police, riddled with BS, rather than the respect this man and his family deserves. Rickey, we're going to Alabama, dear brother.
Yes, sir.
This is a sad story, and it seems just so unnecessary that this man is dead today after this family attempted to care for him. What say you, brother?
You know, Dr. Richard, thank you for having me on. It is, like when it comes to them committing a crime, they always want to use mental health. When it comes to white people committing crimes and mass murders, something was wrong with them mentally. But as Black people, when we call the police because someone have mental health, they take that opportunity, knowing that the person might be incoherent or not in their right mind, and they're not following commands. They can't follow commands if they have some mental issues going on, and they take that opportunity to unalive somebody. And it's like, so Dr. Richey, when we get in a space like that, who do we call? Do we ask for an ambulance? What do we do? Because if you have a child or an uncle or a family member that's having a mental breakdown, who do you call or whatever? Because now you got to think about, look at, it's so many incidents. You probably could name them off the top of your head, at least 10 incidents where somebody, African-American, was having a mental health issue and they ended up dead because of trigger-happy policemen, but they don't have that same energy for a mass murderer that would go in and shoot up a church or shoot up a school, but then they would take them to Burger King and get them something to eat, and then they would start talking about mental health. But when it comes to us, the energy is not the same, and I'm just really saddened by this.
Yeah, you are 100% correct. No one can convince me if this African-American male happened to be a blonde-haired white female that the result would have been the same. Nobody can ever convince me of that. And the truth is, nobody who sees this is convinced of that either. We'll bring you updates as they come.